So hello everyone and welcome to this 10 questions about cloud podcast. Today we have a very special guest, a multi-cloud expert, an influencer and a friend. Welcome Chirag.
Thank you. Thank you, Pablo, for this opportunity and invitation. And I really appreciate the initiative which you have took about the 10 questions because lot of myths are always there when we talk about cloud. So I'm looking forward for the interesting and fun talk to share as much as possible what I have learned.
Cool. So I always use the first question just to introduce yourself, basically who you are and what you do.
Sure. So my name is Chirag and I'm based out of Singapore. I'm working in an organization named Cloud Kinetics, which is a part of cloud consulting ecosystem. So it's almost 4 years of my journey. Even this month I completed my 4 years. But in the cloud ecosystem, I started learning back in 2012 and 13 when something known as Windows Azure was there, and then they rename it to Microsoft Azure because Microsoft becomes so open, and I believe the time where Microsoft put the images like Microsoft love Linux. So yeah, in college days I started learning, and now it become my profession day to day, helping customer to accelerate their digital transformation, be it any cloud platform, depend upon a multiple factors. And yeah, and I love to do that, and it's everyday learning. Apart from that, community contributor, because that is community always play a major role in my career. It helped me to boost my own confidence, to build my own skill set, especially the communication part. So really kudos to all the things which I have till date, and I believe going forward I will be the part of more and more contributor, more and more communities to contribute more and enable the people about their cloud and trying to solve their myths around the cloud part.
And you do it really well, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. It's always learning from each other. It's not that only a one side game, but yeah, we try to learn from each other from every day. So I believe because of that only we met and we connected and we are talking. Yeah. So thanks for all the invite and all those, I can say, all those people who helped me to motivate me, and that is what triggered me to learn, put more efforts. Yes.
Cool. So I'm curious now about your cloud cloud journey. I mean, maybe you can tell us about your first steps toward the cloud.
Okay. So yeah, I was in college days when I was interacted something about a cloud. I was not aware. I was thinking maybe first time. Let me tell you truly what was the feeling. I see something known as Windows Azure on Microsoft side. I thought maybe some operating system came. I thought like I need to download it and maybe I need to put it in my machine. Maybe at that time it was Windows 7 or 8.1 or something, and I thought maybe this may be the next version. I was not aware, so I was trying to read like what is Windows Azure, and then I forgot about that. Then what happened that I got a smartphone, and from the smartphone, there are the applications, and I found Dropbox was there. And from doing little bit learning about like how Dropbox is working, I landed to its case study on AWS. Right. So from there, because then now again as a student at the fresh computer science entry, like it was the first year that I thought, okay, I only whenever we talk about Amazon, only the e-commerce or their retail business came in mind. But what the heck is this AWS? And I see some servers and all these things, but still I was not convinced that it is something a technology part. In college, I got a part of BitSpark program. It was known as not BitSpark, DreamSpark. So college, they have some collaboration with Microsoft and they choose some students. And under that DreamSpark program, I got the Windows Azure subscription. I want to specify at that time it was Windows Azure, the old style, their Silverlight based portal, very less services. So there I got to know, and with that I got couple of trainings in that program, and it's like a couple of months journey to understand about. Then with the same academics, I understand, okay, there is something networking, there is something databases, there is something known as computation part. And nowadays at that time we started moving into the software defined everything. So that was the whole triggering point, like understanding the difference that buying a hardware or procurement cycle can be weeks to months, but how the cloud is solving and making the entire process agile, be it from the infrastructure layer or from the managed platform as a services layer. So that is a whole idea, and I put more and more efforts trying to learn side by side with my academics. And then I started with AWS. Like I signed up the AWS part. There was a free tier, and at that time GCP was very early days. So in 2014, I started using Compute Engine when it was in beta, and in 2015, I started learning more and more about GCP. So it was something like I try to focus always to clarify my basics around compute, storage, and networking, and it really helped me to then get into the cloud ecosystem after completing my graduation. So that was the whole idea. Like when I heard, and I started building the small things, not any super scale application, but my own portfolio. Because yeah, I believe rather than only the social media presence, having your own portfolio makes much better sense, and it gives the opportunity to learn, to clarifying the DNS part, and how really actually end-to-end application work. So that is entire my college journey, and after my professional journey, it started. Yeah, first few months was bit struggling because I was not able to understand the ecosystem, because I didn't directly jump into the technical part. I took the uh, customer facing role. So my first role is like a pure field sales guy in the same organization. And yeah, I need to go with my seniors to understand the customer requirement. And it was a very early days in India. At that time, I was in India. So early days that the cloud movement started. So it's like I can say I'm a lucky enough that I'm the part of that early adopters in that scene. And now I see the change, the entire vibe happen in the country, and every industry, be it a startup, be it an enterprise, everyone consider that cloud is a viable option. Even in my early days, I heard that cloud is not secure. And after 2.5 years from the same person, he's some C-level executive in one of the big organizations saying cloud is really a secure part. It's understanding. It's all about the understanding of that shared responsibility models and the pillars. So that is like I'm kind of the witness who see the denying part to the acceptance part. So really, it is a good journey so far, so good.
Wow, I'm really impressed.
Yes.
I mean, you started really early and you kind of went all the steps through until now, kind of understanding not only the basics, but also very deep of almost any cloud provider. It's impressive.
Yes, so yeah, that is where what I always try to say, the basics are always important. Don't try to jump, because it's not that the easy journey. Let me share. I have done many mistakes also. I also try to learn because I have no experience of IT industry. I was a college student and I try to learn. For me, it's always fascinated because I never interacted with hardware or setting up a hardware, or never be in any kind of a data center, or never played with the switches, right? But in the cloud, it just matter. You need to know, okay, what is IPv4, your VPC ready, your subnets are ready, all those things, and you will get maybe hundreds or maybe some Gbps scale of bandwidth, connectivity, throughput. All those things seems always fascinated, right? But when it comes to the actual things, will be a little bit different. I believe we will talk more about in this area in a couple of minutes. So that is how I missed something which I really now I suggest always to especially the students or the people who are going to start, or maybe experienced people who want to move their or switch their career to cloud computing field. Few things really make sense from our academics also. It doesn't mean that everyone need to be computer science background. Internet is not a luxury thing, it's a necessity. If we use it wisely, all the information is available, and anyone and everyone can learn it easily, freely. Much quality content is there. It's all about the focus. So few things which I missed, I learned while in my job, and still it is something that I need to refer to the same basics again to go ahead, or maybe for like if I plan for going to the next step, the basics again come into picture. I need to recall the same thing. Yeah, okay, this is how the building blocks are, and that is how why this next things are coming and how it is working. Yeah.
Very nice. And following with the next question, it's about what are, in your opinion, the biggest advantages of the cloud? I know there are a lot, but maybe you
Okay.
can just summarize it or say what are the keys for you?
Sure. So most important thing I can say, the fast connectivity part, because what it's my again personal opinion, I found okay, the hardware is getting is much cheaper, right? But getting a bandwidth, and what I always call is like bandwidth is the most expensive thing in the IT world, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is not that everyone can afford a dedicated lease line, which is maybe hundreds of Mbps. Maybe a company will burn their entire annual budget in a month if they will think about to get maybe, but bandwidth is required because our entire business rely on connectivity. And especially now, this is a world where we are living entire year, we all are witness that how this remote work is efficient as well as a need. And for that a connectivity required. If our, let's say, the application is having a limited connectivity wherever it is hosted in data center, obviously it is getting an impact because we are not connecting locally, maybe via VPN or maybe the internet. But cloud is giving the much more thing, because then the next word is scalability came. As soon as it is required, there we can change the infrastructure size and we can scale, and it will give little bit boost of from the CPU, from the RAM, as well as the bandwidth part, which is helping. So this is from that part I would like to say. And all those are the very famous, or I believe it is always in the market about the value of cloud, the scalability, agility, the cost effectiveness. So all those are the common thing, but major thing I found the connectivity part, which is solving major problem. And people are working in a much efficient way, all the businesses are running. And kudos to all the cloud provider for their whole entire engineering and R&Ds to making every year the things. Important thing is, yeah, every year, because every year each and every cloud providers coming with its most performant new custom chips, custom chip hardware, which for a data center provider or building or owning own data center is not, because refresh cycle can be 3 to 5 years long, and every year putting, let's say, millions of dollars for any business is not viable option. But with cloud, yes, possible. It's maybe just a matter of a few minutes or some kind of a planned downtime window. You can stop or you can test your application on the newer infrastructure which is available on the cloud. And you, if you see that everything working, all the new CPU generation and the hardware, all whatever the drivers or nitty gritty things required, then you get the new hardware instantly. For that you don't need to wait for the long procurement cycle, you don't need to invest. Most of the time I notice that whenever the cloud provider comes with the newer generation of instance classes, the price get reduced. It may be 5%, it may be little bit, but yeah, the value is there on the long run and the bigger scale. 5% is not a small value. If any business is spending $1 million on their infrastructure, be it monthly or quarterly or annually, 5% can be a big boost. And it's like a more performant and lesser price. So that kind of values are there. And that is kind of one of a missing thing is also there that people don't try to understand. They think, okay, they stick with it. This is because there are a lot of scary moments in our IT. I heard, and even I was the part of very scary stories that don't touch the stable production environment. We don't know, no one knows what will happen if we try to move in over excitement. But yeah, that is where the cloud is giving opportunity. You can test. No one is saying that you need to move your production environment in just a matter of few clicks, but the testing part, that is where the immutable infrastructure and all such new things came into picture. You can test one, the surety is there, benchmarking is there, then plan your production environment to move to the next generation of instances or whatever the new infrastructure cloud is going to provide. It's like regardless of any cloud provider, every cloud provider on their some half yearly or a yearly basis coming with something new from their engineering part, which is try to help the customer to move to the next level. So these are what I can say. Rest, yeah, auto scaling. I think these are the very common from the practical to the theoretical. Now, most of the people need to know how the practical implementation of all these things happen. But yeah, there are many things like we need to think from the business and then the technology. If we crack the business problem, if we understand the business requirement and problem easily, technology is always there.
Yeah, I agree on many points that you touched. Really interesting ones. So the next question is related to an opinion that I have, because I believe that cloud computing knowledge is going to be a standard in the IT industry. But maybe you don't share my opinion. What do you think about that? Do you think that
Yes,
these cloud
yeah.
skills are a
Yes,
required
agree.
skill?
Totally agree. Like even I would like to share. In my academics, there was no cloud computing subject, right? But at least I know in India, most of the universities adopted that as a subject so that the students will aware. So this is maybe let's start from a theoretical, from a student perspective. The skill need to be there because again, as cloud is no longer a myth or not a new thing, it's almost a decade old in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
and we have seen major use cases regardless of our industry vertical. So cloud becomes a new non-viable option whenever. Even simply thing is from the business side, the people who were pioneer in hardware selling, they also now become the part of the cloud ecosystem because they understand their customer also want. No one wants to lose their customer, lose the business. Every business want to help their customer to reach to the next level. So that is where the cloud skill need to be there. All the people, whether uh, be it 20 years in industry playing with hardware only, they also think that yeah, they need to learn. For them it is a different journey that they need to utilize their experience to learn cloud in a maybe much quicker way or maybe advanced way, because if their concepts are clear, it will be a very straightforward journey for the person who is in the industry or the any newbie who is into the development but getting into the project where the cloud or the cloud native is there. He or she need to learn, he or she need to utilize their experience as well as bit of academic background, how the things are working. And again, the good resources are there and all those cloud providers are giving a very good content, a very good, excuse me, a good documentation, a use cases. How I always suggest, a use cases are always, or case studies are always best way to learn so that you can understand how the others have achieved the success. So
Mm-hmm.
it is something like we can made our mind map rather than just thinking, oh, I need to go through some few hours of video lecture. I believe following something that who the what others have done already, and maybe he or she can put the idea what changes can be there to improvise the architecture, because as the latest and greatest services are coming again on a quarterly or what I can say the annual basis. Every cloud provider is having their annual conferences and they release a lot of big announcement with the new
Mm-hmm.
big services, whether majorly focus on the managed service or the serverless kind of things. But things are trying to solve the problem, and it's at the end it need to be focused to benefit the customer or the end users, how the things are getting accelerated. So yes, cloud becomes the part of education, cloud becomes the part of job, cloud is for everyone. It is not that only the Linux people need to be into the cloud, or it's not everyone that only the uh, developers need to be on the cloud. Everyone has its own space, everyone has its own vertical. That like a person like me, I started from a business development. I'm not like a programmer, I'm not that too much of hands-on guy, but yeah, for my own interest I do some kind of a demos, try to learn, try to understand, try to troubleshoot, because it's just as a hobby. But my job is not demanding me that I need to be part of a delivery. I need to be part of the consultancy, solutioning part, requirement gathering. So cloud is everywhere, and yeah, I can say yeah, I'm enjoying that journey. It's not that I am thinking that I need to be now suddenly become a too much of technical and become a solution architect kind of a role, because for that you need to have a lot of experience from a different angle. It's not just about a title, but there are many things. So but yeah, I enjoy because I get an opportunity to work with many different people, different teams. So learning is always there. It's all about how a person is going to grab the concept and putting the efforts, and the result will be there. So at the end, I would like to say resources are there, but we really need to understand how we are going to utilize the resources in a efficient manner.
Really interesting. I mean, I also think that education is the base of everything.
Yes,
So that was really a good point, I will say.
thank you.
You talked before about AWS, Asia, GCP, and other cloud providers, uh, but we get many times the same question: which cloud provider should I use?
Wow, it's my daily job question also. Which cloud
Exactly.
should we go? So there are many things. Let me start. There are many factors which a person or which a business need to be decided or understand. There is no comparison that you will say one is much better than other. I don't in that wagon. Maybe from a service wise or service depth it can be there, but it's purely about first understand the business scenario,
Mhm.
right? So you can't expect that your customer will aware about everything. You need to educate, and you need to educate yourself first. It's not that there is, first of all, there is no disrespect of any technology. Important thing is you need to know your geography. And because we are a human being, we trust other humans rather than the technology. If we see the other human or other business is running their successful application infrastructure on, let's say, one cloud provider, the chances are this person or this business is also going to follow, because there is a reference, right? So there is no straightforward answer. There are many things. Every cloud is having its own market. Every cloud provider is expanding exponentially. We see from last 3 to 4 years, all the Gartner reports. There are many new player came and went out, and now this year only the five major player in the existence, and they are growing and growing different use cases we are seeing. So it depends. You need to understand your business, your customer scenario. If you understand the business problem and then the technology ecosystem, maybe chances are customer is full-fledged on Windows ecosystem, then maybe you can think maybe Windows, Microsoft Azure can work. Depend. I'm not sure that it will be the 100% case. It depend. A customer may be looking for an entire cloud native application from scratch. You have the entire open options, because every cloud provider is giving all the tool sets and here and there the things. Otherwise the open source ecosystem is there, so to build your entire cloud native application. So I suggest always that it's a person. You need to guide, educate your customer, be it IT people or be it executive people. If you guide them rightly, trust me guys, business will be there. It will be the win-win situation, rather than if you position one cloud is much better than other, things may go on. Because when the other competitor will come, because a business is not going to stick with the one, what I can say, the system integrator or partner. A business is looking for the competitive quotations, or they want a differentiation. So if you guide, if you position yourself as like your proposal in a right manner, educate the customer that okay, this is because of, this is the scenarios in which your business case. So we suggest maybe this provider will fit best. So every geography having a different. Even in Southeast Asia, Alibaba is booming like anything, right? But when I was in India, I never worked on Alibaba. I was not aware that, yeah, but in the different geography, it is a preferred choice than the other cloud provider. People love to talk. People love to ask about, okay, why you are proposing me this? Why not this? So you need to have a clear justification from the business perspective. Technology is there. Every cloud is giving the technology, maybe in a serverless way, or maybe the uh, platform as a service way, or maybe the infrastructure is always there. It depends how you want to position and what actually customer is looking. Maybe someone is not having a budget to afford the platform as a service, as it comes with a little bit of cost than the infrastructure as a service. So in that scenario, how you would like to set up the things? So multiple factors need to be considered. Then maybe you can give the scenario, or maybe later a customer will be maybe much open to talk on the hybrid or multi-cloud kind of a opportunity rather than sticking with the one. So it purely depends. There is no, as per my opinion, it's not a direct approach or the right. I did such kind of things, so but I found the results were different. I changed my approach along with my senior team, my leadership guidance. So things becoming in a different way, and I such like I started enjoying such kind of things that yeah, if you educate, at least pass the right information. It doesn't mean that you need to start training to your customers on a day one, because it will be then overwhelm, and customer can what I can say, customer will reduce their interest in the cloud, because it may happen, it will be something new, maybe some kind of a time constraint, but give at least short and sweet right thing rather than just understand the pain point first. If you find the pain point, the solution will be there, and the win-win situation will be there for everyone, and it will be a good journey.
I know that it's a tricky question because there is no straightforward answer.
Yes.
However, I'm sure that uh, you will help the listeners to understand better what are the key factors to consider when choosing a cloud provider. So I think was very helpful.
Sorry.
Yeah, continuing with the next question. It's also very related to the cloud providers. It's about multi-cloud environments.
Okay.
What do you think about the multi-cloud approaches? Do you think they are, yeah, basically, what's your opinion about that?
It is still in the new norm. Yes, some big houses or enterprises have tested, but not everyone is ready. I feel that, because one is the hype, one is the actual reality, right? Because if we see the business, and especially, okay, let's refer to some kind of industry reports, still more than 80% of IT infrastructure is running on premises, and only like maybe a double digit is moved to the cloud. And we see that now it is very big, right? So the all the businesses is still exploring, and the first step is because of the company or the business which is having their existing IT infrastructure. No one wants that quickly get rid of that thing and become a cloud native and serverless, because that comes with its cost as well as time as well as the manpower. And then the human factor came into picture with cloud. It is still there in the market, and all the mind, like some IT folks think that if cloud will introduce in their organization, they will lose their job. That is still there. I encountered with such kind of folks many times, and they think that, we don't want, we are happy to manage our hardware because we are a hardware specialist. It's their mind, but yeah, those people also now understand and try to learn, because everyone wants to upskill. IT is such a field that where you need to upskill regardless of whether you are dealing with a 20-year senior than yours or maybe some junior than yours. You need to upskill. It's not again a race. It's for yourself and for your customer and your organization vision. So multi-cloud, yes, it is going, but not, I don't think, maybe still it is something new, because lot of if and buts or some proven technologies need to be there. Few things are already there, but something is not affordable for every business, or something is not clear cut or clear roadmap is there. So hope like in coming years, the cloud provider is building more and more ease of use to set up the multi cloud. And there will be no compatibility, because again here also bandwidth plays a major role, and bandwidth is the most expensive thing. Data out from a one place to the another cloud, it can be much expensive than your entire infrastructure. So not everyone is in that wagon to afford. So hope such kind of use cases. But yeah, the people, the businesses which have done the proven things, kudos to all that, because it really need lot of efforts and lot of technology understanding about the both, or maybe there will be the more than two platforms are there, as well as the on premises there. So lot of things need to be understand from those perspective. So yes, hope, but right now I feel it is just at a very initial stage, and it need couple of years to become a new norm. And yes, so that business will not feel they will lock in. Even with the multi-cloud, they can think, because if they need to spend maybe some connectivity part, because maybe it is not required that a business is open to do through one cloud to the another cloud, open internet, or maybe VPN is having its own kind of a limitation or capacity. Not everyone is going to put that fat pipe. So such kind of things are there, and hope maybe in the next with the 5G, how the things are getting solved. Hope for the best.
So we are the whole time talking about the hyperscalers, about the big players in the cloud market share. Um, how do you think this is going to evolve in the next years? I mean, regarding the cloud market share, do you think it's going to stay like it is, or do you think that they are going to grow new players?
Okay, so it is a tough question, but yeah, it's always again the mix of things. So growing part will always be there, even in the pandemic. The cloud acceleration, or we can see the shift is little bit moved from the productivity application suites is much higher than the maybe some new initiatives. But yeah, cloud is ever growing thing, and as I mentioned that I see from last 8 years, the people who were not talking about cloud, now they become a cloud certified and getting the job as a cloud engineers. So really happy to see that people talking. So same with the providers. Maybe new player will come, but again we don't need to forget about the human factor here, because human trust, human first. So we are looking for the references. The new player will come, try to prove the things, be it maybe the hybrid one. There are not only the pure public cloud provider, maybe some kind of a hybrid, and again the HCI or hyperscale or hyperconvergence infrastructure provider. They all will be there, because obviously reliability is there. The industry who already adopt those strategy maybe a decade ago, they can't get rid of in just maybe a year or two. It will take time, but meanwhile those providers will do more and more innovation. Everyone wants to solve the problems of the business, and that is where the innovation is happening, right? So it is I believe it will be the a good, what I can say, the future is much brighter, and we all need to watch it very closely, how the business is taking shape, what kind of new things are coming, and how it is going to impact the entire ecosystem, and how we all are going to adopt the new things, and especially how quickly we are enabling our customers to adopt such thing to help and grow much faster.
Okay, I see. You don't want to say any names or numbers?
No, I don't think numbers. I only believe when the reports came.
I understand that. So let's change the topic now. Let's talk now about the Chinese cloud providers, because they are growing really fast in the last years. We see, for example, last year, the cloud infrastructure in China increased 65%, uh, making it the second biggest, largest cloud market in the world. So it's something we should consider. How do you expect this to evolve in the coming years?
Okay, yes, it is. It is growing. See, like as I mentioned that maybe a few years back, or maybe around, if I say precisely 1.5 year back, I was not aware about. I heard only the name of Alibaba Cloud is there, right? But yeah, now it's kind of a thing that I am dealing on a daily basis. I understand their basics. So it's growing, because the what I can say, that each and every market has a different dynamics and different factor, right? We see their double 11 thing, which is itself a record, not nearby any other, what I can say, other records or other online festival, how they are managing all those things. So providers are going big, they are coming with their own competitive offering. They have the proven results now in their hand. And China is something, yeah, it's a big market, and they are covering. the Southeast Asia especially, and going to the Europe and US market also. But still, like their base is there. I found they are trying to do best, and they are giving a very strong competition to the other established market player. So it's like it is again what I can say. It's in watch list, and we need to really keep follow closely, because still it's just a start. It is like we don't need to only go to the whatever the growth year over year growth, but what kind of the adoption in the actual, and how the people are getting advantage from the different layer. That is what like I would like to say. So people the entire business can run on only the infrastructure as a service, but maybe the manageability part then mainly on the customer side. But how the other use cases will coming to giving realistically think that yes, that each and every cloud provider, especially the companies from Alibaba, and I believe there are other providers like Tencent. I have never worked on that, but I heard Tencent is having its cloud arm, as well as Huawei. So they are providing, they are like coming up into the market, and I heard such kind of things here and there. But yeah, hope. But the still, if anyone wants to learn, the basics are still same. If anyone knows AWS, Azure, GCP, or OCI, it is just a matter of uh, what I can say, utilizing the same concept to learn and see if you feel that your business is going to adapt all these new providers, and how what kind of the vision of your business is. So, or if the business is going to expand in Southeast Asia, and especially country like China, you need to take it very seriously.
Yeah.
Because it's their homegrown cloud and the proven things. So you need to be very serious about the learning, no if and buts, so you can shine in your work and you can help your customer.
Yeah. I mean, I share a lot of opinions that you already mentioned. And yeah, my opinion is really that we should consider the Chinese market because it's growing so fast and it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest.
Yes.
So we are about to finish already. Only the two last questions. The first one is related um, to you and your skills. Maybe you can share us which was one of the latest or the latest thing that you learned about the cloud. It can be something
Okay.
technical or it can be a strategic, a tool, whatever you like to share.
Sure. Yes. So, regardless of common things like security, that is the day-to-day job, or the new features are coming. But especially, I would like to talk on the large-scale migration thing, like how the roadmap or large-scale migration. I'm talking about maybe hundreds or near about thousands of instances. That what kind of plan need to be there when you have a different hundred of application. It is not that even a big company, okay, they understand the value of cloud, they will next day say, hey, move it to the cloud, or this is our preferred cloud platform. Something known as the step journey need to be there. You need to understand the discovery and assessment part, right? It can be technical as well as bit of the strategic, because then there you need to propose the TCO part, because any business or large scale business, when it is planning for the cloud migration, it is not a 1 year or 2 year, it may be 5 year. They are looking for the 5 year. Even we understand, and that in 5 years, right now we can't predict that where the cloud providers will be, or what kind of services, what kind of performances they are going to deliver. But still, making from the business understanding, we need to consider with the present situation that 5 year of TCO, the total cost of ownership. And no customer wants, important thing, the manual assessment and discovery. That is where every cloud provider, either they built or they acquired the industry leaders, the tools, like especially let me tell you from the AWS perspective, they acquired something, the organization named Cloud Endure, and they integrate as a first class citizen on their platform. And so that out of the box, you will have the entire, and they make their service name Cloud Migration Hub, AWS Migration Hub, in which you will find all the assessment, discovery, and migration. So such kind of thing. The same with GCP. GCP acquired couple of things. It was previously something known as Velostrata, and now it becomes migrate to GCP. So migrate to compute engine. It's like a first class citizen. The same with Azure, Alibaba is having all such kind of things. So tools you need to understand, and you need to really know how to use a tool, because it's not that every environment will be open for you. Some people, even for the compliance perspective, they will say no agent installation required. Maybe you need to know some kind of a connector, how this will work, and maybe then at the end, the most missing and important skill from that perspective, everyone, I believe, we have used it, be it any experienced person or be it a newbie, something known as Microsoft Office in our resume, right? So when you will get the Excel sheet which is having maybe hundreds and thousands of rows and column, okay, because tool done its job, it delivered the report. Maybe that is where you need to put the idea. Excel is Excel. Maybe 20 years back it was Excel. Now it is Excel for enhanced version. Maybe that is where I believe I found something, rather than, because I'm not a good in Excel, like I have never focused on that too much. I know the basic level, but this thing, like this kind of a new, what I can say, learning helped me, that okay, that how that CSV you can import into any kind of a BI tool and create a report, right? So that you can present in a much better way, rather than just playing on the Excel and thinking, okay, some tables. That is where the cloud is adding value, and it is something new skill and learning. Previously, I was thinking to jump to the next or third or fourth step like machine learning and AI, but I got the opportunity to strong my this core area again, especially the large scale migration. So I'm really like happy while doing the presenting and working and thinking that kind of environment, to assess whether the migration will happen or not. That is a different discussion, but doing the assessment itself a big project, and it's a learning, because there may be again competition. You need to know how to calculate the TCO part. The business value need to be there. What kind of pricing mechanism can be there? Because let's say 100 application, not every application can be stable. Let's say ERP kind of things can be stable. There you can think about the RI or some kind of a cost saving mechanism at a first glance. But maybe if it is a web application, that maybe 50% infrastructure can be RI, 50% need to be dynamic. So the basic of mathematics also come into picture. That is where you, like, at least I utilize my own academics learning about around all those subjects, that yes, how this will fit best and how this is going to be drive the conversation and the our report, and this is how the assessment need to look like, how the discovery. It's again not that tool is always working. Maybe it may happen due to some event, but tool will not give the right data. But you need to know the troubleshooting part. And but yeah, so far so good. It's like what I can say from last couple of months. It's a very good learning for me, and I would like to do such kind of work more and more, rather than just thinking that I need to know the hundreds of different services on my tips. Have one core area, make it strength, but and then the others will be obviously related, and everyone depend upon their organization, the vision, get the opportunity. Someone start directly from the data layer, not from the info networking layer, but the dependency is always there. So yeah, so we are all part of the same ecosystem and trying to do our best.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
really, really interesting, and definitely very good to know. And yeah, one sentence that I really like what you said is related to the focus. Focus on one thing and do it very good. Don't try to
Yeah.
know everything about anything. Just focus on one thing until you know it, then go forward.
Exactly. Yes. So that will give the more stability of your work, and the quality will be there, right? So if you do the
Exactly.
same thing again and again and again, it will be much helpful, rather than try to learn everything. Because again, having too much of resources also not beneficial. There are disadvantages of there. I
Yeah.
have I have like such kind of thing. I have a many few years back when I started. I have a many different, what I can say, the access of different tutorial websites, this and that the company is providing, and I am trying to learn many things. But at the end, I got nothing. Then I understand, okay, my basics are not clear. I'm trying to jump maybe the level 3 or level 4 directly, but my level 1 or 2 is not clear. So
Mm-hmm.
then I come back again, think from the again IPv4, RDBMS, bit of storage part, understanding what is the difference between even sequential IO and random IO, right? So that is also playing a major role when we will, because again, as per my job nature, I need to understand the optimization part or well architect framework. Again, converting theoretical into the practical is one thing, and practical into theoretical, so it need to be there side by side. Then I believe everyone will enjoy their work and their job.
Very cool. And following this topic, uh, I would like to know what are the sources that you use to keep yourself up to date. Because since you already said there is so many information out there, and sometimes it's difficult to find the right one.
Yes. So, okay, so let me start. Like one thing I started following almost 2.5 years back. I believe everyone, I'm assuming, or if not, it's just a famous thing. Try started using Slack for your personal also. I don't like that I will move to the 10 different websites to find the thing. What I have done, because every cloud provider is having their own blog, and there's something in their blog, what's
Mhm.
new, or some disease specific to the service related or the area related. They have something their blog and what's new kind of thing. I have just pulled their RSS feed on my Slack channel, and what I do on a daily basis, at least like open it, because RSS feed, it will pull it on the Slack, and I will have all the major cloud provider information is there. I only subscribe again to my focus area. It doesn't mean that you need to subscribe to the 100 again. It will create the confusion. I have only 6 to 7 things like AWS, Azure, GCP, OCI, and Alibaba. And in AWS specific to the big data, because I love to read about more on those things. So these are the 5 things. RSS feed I subscribe, and I'm putting in my Slack again free of cost. That is the main thing, because what it is helping me. Let's say uh, recently, okay, the case is AWS come with a new kind of a provision storage type like EBS volume, right? So because I'm dealing with multiple customers, rather than I am waiting the information came from a different source, or I need to go through a lot of tutorials, or I need to do, I got that in the morning time. I got that, okay, this is the news. Then at least I have some task in my day to find out the customers whom I am dealing who are using provisioned IOPS like the previous generation, because AWS is giving in the same cost or maybe a little bit lesser cost, maybe 50x more performance or something, 10 to 50x more performance. So that is the value addition to your customer. And
Yeah.
how much it cost me? Maybe few minutes of a click and understanding, and maybe quickly testing in my own. Because keep remember one thing, I did a mistake again. Not every service is available in every region. So in the over excitement, don't do such kind of thing. Don't make your customer excited, and then you will say, oh, sorry boss, or sorry sir or ma'am, that this service is yet to release in the region in which your infrastructure is running. It can be a heartbreaking moment. So don't try to do this. Do your R&D properly. I did such kind of thing, and I get such kind of a results. So don't, I'm talking from my own experience. So this is the one thing from knowing with the connected with the news and what services, because then you need to know what your infrastructure, or maybe if you are into the product, you need to know maybe something new enhancement is coming. You can improve the entire portfolio or architecture of your application as well as infrastructure. So that is the one, like Slack I'm using extensively. Again, I'm not a pro Slack guy, but just reading and tapping, it will redirect to the same blog post, and in the blog post, the documentation. And the next is I am a big fan of Pluralsight. So yes, I have used many other platform in past, but now from last almost 1.5 year, I'm using stick with Pluralsight. You will get all the content, all the major cloud related content, even for the Microsoft Azure. They have a free till 2025. You can prepare for the certification. You can watch a different product tutorials. So I'm totally relying on Pluralsight whenever I got a time. Maybe if I want to prepare for something, I try to find it there. If that course is there, because it's a very curated content and I like all the authors and the quality of content. And if not there, then obviously I will try to find the official documentation. Official documentation, it can be expensive. You need a lot of time to read, but yeah, this is how you need to put the effort to understand and clarify the things. If yeah, I feel not, sometime while doing the walk, I love to hear the podcast. Mike Pfeiffer, I believe the cloudskills.fm, that is the podcast name. I love that. I hear
Mhm.
because Mike is also bringing the people and from a
Mhm.
different industry, so I love that. And I believe the same kind of thing Pablo is now doing, the bringing the different people, hearing the opinion about the journey. So it is always good to interact with, and then communities and all those events are there. But majorly you need to stick with the resource. One, there is no bad quality, I feel, and there is no 100% content or training covered in any course. It may be 30-40%. Rest is your own hands-on and your own basics, your understanding. If you think that just watching a training, I actually come across say such kind of thing, just watch it, some tutorial or courses, some like 10 or 15 hour or 20-hour course, and after that sitting for some certification exam and getting the perfect score. But after that, one basic question a person can't answer, then it will not be a right path. I am very blunt in and very outspoken in such thing, because I don't want that. Because time is very much important and we all have the same time, right? Everyone got the 24 hours. So utilize in a right manner. Don't try to just run that, okay, you watched a tutorial, some certification will give you the things. Until unless you will not practice, you will not have a confidence, things will not work out.
Mhm.
So try to build, try to make your own path, whatever the things you will find. And another thing is, don't waste the time to learn a single thing from a different platform for the same content. Everyone has a different teaching style. Before even started your preparation or learning, doing the research and your own research is maybe I can say that the first 10 or 20% to what I can say, design your roadmap. If you can't put that 10 or 20%, and if you are just looking for social media saying, hey, use this platform, the other will say this platform, third will say this, I think, yeah, I actually done such thing, and I at the end I ended with the confusion. So how I clarified is, just stick with the one thing. Think it will only clear 30-40%. The rest you need to put effort. If you're not able to put effort, it's your choice. It's your way to work. We can only just guide that this is how like my learning journeys and my style of learning is. I'm still a little bit old school kind of a guy that use a pen and paper to make some notes rather than always the digital notes, because sometimes, yeah, I feel more, what I can say, the muscle memory will work while writing using pen. So try to understand and try to think that how you are going to convert your learning to in the actual practical thing to help your customer, because for that we all are getting paid. That's like at the end. So if you understand what you actually need to learn, what your job required or what your business required, and how you are going to convert or translate your learning to the practical manner, that will be the best way to always excited and confident about the things.
Wow, really informative. I mean, I learned a lot from you. I think that the Slack trick, I really like it in an automated way and
Yes,
very, yeah, you get information really fast. So I think it's a really good point. I
perfect.
will
Yeah.
definitely give it a try and
Sure. Just maybe
see.
create your own Slack channel. You don't need to maybe add people. If you want, you can add people, invite people. But yeah, try to put the RSS, because Slack is supporting applications and RSS is there. And then only just you need to put the RSS feed there, and you will start seeing every morning. Things will start getting going on your notification, and you're gonna love that. I'm pretty sure.
Cool. So
Yes.
that was it basically for the podcast. Uh,
Okay.
I am really happy to have you here and I'm really thankful for you because it's always a pleasure for me. I learned a lot from you. I get also inspired, And yeah, thank you very much for participating.
Sure, sure. Thank you for this initiative and looking forward near future. We will do more and more such kind of things, and we will try to enable everyone to become a cloud ready because cloud is the future. Yeah,
Definitely. So I will put also all your social networks in the description, your YouTube channel, your LinkedIn, and anything. So in case anyone wants to contact you, they can do that. And thank you very much again.
thank you. Thank you to you.
See you in the next podcast. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye bye.